Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Morning Tea with me, Tracy V. Allen. How are you? All right. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you're watching me on Instagram, hey, everybody. So this morning, I have with me Betty Irving and this beautiful piece. I'm going to show you on Instagram and show you on Facebook. This beautiful, beautiful piece that I'm wearing is from Betty. She makes custom jewelry. I met Betty 3 years ago, and we just kind of kept in contact on Facebook. And I saw this piece that she does. She does some lives, and she shows you what she has, and you can just tell her in the comment section what you want, and she'll contact you in your inbox, and then you can get this from her or any of her other pieces. So Betty is the queen of jewelry. She makes custom jewelry, like I said, and she's here today to tell us about her story and how she got into entrepreneurship, how she's been able to grow the business, and anything else we want to talk about, really. So, Betty, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, I'm Betty Irving. I'm owner, designer, and creator of Beaded Creations, where we have handmade jewelry for the everyday woman, whether it's for everyday wear or office wear or formal occasions. And we have pieces for wedding collections. We have little girls pieces, men's pieces, and women's pieces.
Awesome.
That's our website.
Okay, great. Betty, you are from South Carolina, correct?
Yes, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina.
Charleston. Okay. So tell us, who was Betty before Betty was the jewelry maker?
Well, before Betty was a jewelry maker and a jewelry queen, I was a nanny for a set of twins, believe it or not. Little twins, little toddlers. And I started making jewelry just as a hobby and a way to pass time, and I could take it over there when the girls were sleeping. And it was just, I fell in love with making it. And in the process, maybe about 3-4 years after I was a nanny for the twins, they decided that the mom wanted to stay home. And we ended up adopting our son, and he was between 5 and 5.5 at the time. So since we adopted Kenneth and I didn't have a job, me and my husband sat down. We had to have that what's next conversation. I mean, he was working, I wasn't working. We had a new child in the house, and he just told me, he said, "Betty, you're good at making jewelry. I see how happy it makes you." So I started thinking that, I mean, I can do something I love. I can help women accessorize their outfits when they need help, and I can actually make money doing it.
Yeah.
So that's how my business was actually birthed, I guess.
Okay. And that's why today's Make a Statement, because a piece like this, if I walk into the room, it's going to catch people's attention and it's going to make a statement. I feel like if you're going to wear jewelry, right?
Exactly. This piece I have on, it's actually a
statement.
I
love that. Oh, that is beautiful. It looks like corals.
It potato actually.
It's called potato beads, you said?
It's called potato beads. There's potato beads, and throughout it, there's Swarovski crystals in it. It's nice. Very limited amount, but yeah, there's called potato beads because of how they're shaped.
Oh wow. Yeah, those are beautiful. So so you and your husband sat down, you guys decided, okay, jewelry is the way to go because you're already doing it as like a hobby. So why not now turn it into an actual business and start making money from it? Right. So you started, how did you get your first set of clients? How did it go from there?
Yeah, I started doing vendor events. I would do one here, one there, and I'd sell one piece here, one piece there. And it wasn't, the money wasn't coming in like I wanted it. And I'm a very impatient person. So, I've been working on my patience. But I wanted everything. I knew what I wanted and where I wanted my business, but it wasn't coming fast. So I got involved with 2 ladies in my business, and they just told me I had to sell. I didn't know about the business part. So, and then I went and got a business coach. And when I got involved with her, I had to start all over again, which that's another thing I don't like doing is redoing stuff I've already done. So I had to build my business up and then back to starting to sell again, which now is going to where I want it to be.
And what did restarting the business basically entail? What did you not do in the initial stages?
I had to I had to change my mindset, because all I want to do, I was putting the pieces out there on Facebook like I was told, and I was just trying to sell, and then it just, people wasn't buying when I was trying to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to come up, and the business coach taught me how to do a business plan and marketing, and have your value statements and your mission statements, just all business part, and just building my business and building my brand, and then trying to sell selling me instead of selling my people.
Right, exactly. Selling yourself, because people have to be attracted to you first before they're attracted to what you're actually offering.
Exactly.
Yeah. So how do you come up with the different types of pieces that you offer? Is it a sketching process, something that comes to you in a dream? Do you get inspiration from other people's pieces? How do you come up with the actual pieces themselves?
Well, some of the pieces I came up with, I would watch videos of different fashion things or different videos, and I would come up with the pieces. Or I would see something that's a colored or a color pattern somewhere, and it was just say, oh, I mean, that piece would, I mean, those color patterns would look good in this type of jewelry. And then I'll have people asking me, like, they would send me pictures, can you make this? I said, well, I can't copy it because it's not mine.
Right.
And I can make something similar. So I would take a couple of days or a week and just start brainstorming and sketching out something different than the piece they sent me. So it can because I do custom orders also. Besides not just the pieces that's on my website, I also do custom orders. So if a customer sends me something or an idea that they want, then I can come up from there and make up something.
Okay. Is it just because I know it's beaded creations, but do you only do beaded creations, or do you do wire wrapping as well?
I do wire wrapping as well. Like this ring I have on, it's actually a wire wrap ring. So I do wire wraps too. I'm starting to do wire wrapping more.
Okay. All right. And you started something that I notice a lot of other companies are doing, but because someone else is doing it, it doesn't mean that you can't do it. You got to just do it better, right? You have to have your differentiator and stand out. So there's some other jewelry companies that are multi-level marketing companies that they get online and they do an auction. It's almost auction style, but the price is already set. And you started doing that. That's how I rediscovered this particular piece. How has that been working for you, and what made you go that route?
That's a story. Actually, that's why I'm laughing. I've always been afraid of Facebook and getting live. Extremely. I would do one, not the selling part, but I would try to do a Facebook Live. I would do one or two, and then I would stop because I've always been afraid of talking in front of people and doing the lives because I get scared of people judging and not liking what I have to say. So I'll start speed talking or forgetting what I need to say. But then when the coronavirus started, I said, I got to do something. I said, I'm just sitting here. I had planned everything out. I was going to go get my pieces in boutiques. I got tired just sitting and watching my business just sit there. And it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't going where I wanted to go. And I got tired of just waiting. I says, I'm done. So I was planning on going to the boutiques, and then Miss Coronavirus wanted to come in. So I can't get into the boutiques. I said, what can I do so I can still be making money while I'm sitting at home? And I said, let me just do this Facebook Live that Coach, Coach Ree. I said, what? She's been after me. Do the lives. I said, let me just do this thing. So I just started doing this. I did the first boutique style I did, and it was like almost 2 hours. I said, I was on a live for 2 hours, and I actually enjoyed it. So now I do one every week. I do at least one live every week, boutiques every week, and I actually enjoy it. I look forward to it. Okay. And I'm actually doing one today.
Oh, you are? Okay, great. So everybody knows you can tune into Betty's page. Betty Irving is her page on Facebook, and watch her live and the pieces that she has to display, and she'll tell you the price of it. And it's an very, very easy and simplistic process. actually easier than going online and having to look at a whole bunch of stuff and try to figure out what it really looks like, because she's actually putting it on, displaying it for you. So it's a really great process to
and that's how I came up with the name Shopping from a Distance. It's because of the coronavirus and we had that social distancing. So I said it was shopping from a distance. And I started thinking, even after things open back up, it still fits.
Yes.
Because you're shopping from a distance, you're at a distance. You can shop from anywhere. So I said, well, I came up with that title, and it's actually going to carry over because I'm going to continue this even after everything opens back up.
Okay.
Because I actually enjoy doing it.
And I mean, seriously, it's a model that has been proven to work for years, even when there wasn't any social distancing. Because when I think about what you do, when I see you online, I'm like, oh, this is like HSN, or this is like QVC, you know, where that's what they do. They get on, they display it, they talk about it, they, you know, show it in all different angles, and you're selling the piece. You're selling yourself, your personality, you're selling the piece. And I think it makes you a lot more comfortable being on social media, because you're not just mindlessly trying to talk about something, you know, you're talking about something that you created, that you're connected to, and that those words come out fluidly and it's not a problem. So that was the best way to actually ingratiate yourself into social media and doing Facebook Lives, and it's working, you know, it's working. So, so you mentioned earlier that you were a nanny, you were married, and then you adopted a son. Tell us about that.
Well, we went through, because we tried to get pregnant. I mean, it was like a year after we got married, and we were trying to get pregnant. It wasn't, because we both wanted. My husband he's one of 6. And he's the only one that didn't have any kids yet. So he wanted a child. I always said I would never get married and never have a child. But meeting David, that changed everything. So then I wanted to get married, wanted to have a kid, and it just wasn't working. So then my stepbrother's son was in foster care ever since he was born. And we came in contact because they were wanting to get him adopted. Well, we went through all the adoption process, and it fell through because they decided to keep him with the family he was with, which that's fine because she was a good person. But I sunk crying because I was so upset because I was all in. I was finally going to be a mom. But a month to the date, we decided to keep our information in the system. We went through DSS, and a month to the date, we found out about Kenneth.
Okay.
I mean, it was meant to be, because if we would have adopted the other one, we would never have been ready for Kenneth. And he looks just like my husband. He acts like me. I mean, he just fits into the family. I mean, he's 13 now, so I'm handful. But he fits into the family, and we had to go meet with all the counselors and everything, and they said, well, we don't want any decisions yet because he had medical issues and stuff from being for the reason he was in foster care. So we had to decide if we were ready for that.
Okay.
Well, and then we decided on the way home, because it was from Columbia to Charleston, which is like an hour and a half, 2-hour drive. So we knew before we got home that we were going to adopt him.
Okay.
But now, I mean, he's a walking miracle. He's a walking testimony. He was on oxygen 24 hours a day when we adopted him. He's completely off now and is playing football at the beginning of this school year.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, he is a walking testimony.
Okay, that's great. Because I know that he was in the hospital a couple months ago. And
he
was
like,
oh, wow.
Virus. Right before the coronavirus came out, he caught another virus and was in the hospital for almost a week. And then he got out, and then the coronavirus came. So his lungs are not the best, and he never will be completely perfect. But so we had to just take precautions. So he stays away from people right now because there's still people out there getting sick.
Right.
So we take precautions of him not getting sick because we don't want him to end up back in the hospital. But I mean, like I said, he fits right in our family.
Nice. That's awesome. Because it takes a lot for someone to love unconditionally a child that is not biologically theirs, and that child has a loving household. Like, you would never have known, because like you said, he looks like he's your kid.
Nobody believes he's adopted because he
Yeah,
looks
he
like my husband.
looked definitely like he could be both your husband and yours child.
We
So
took him
that's
to
why
my
I think
husband.
it was definitely meant to be. You
Yeah,
know,
we
it
took
was
him to my husband's family in Texas the very first time, and they said, David, he looks just like you did at that age. So, I mean, even when he's younger, he looks just like that. And we have to convince people he's adopted, so I just quit. I don't even say he's adopted anymore.
So where do you see the business going from here? I know you said that you were supposed to get your pieces into boutiques. Is that still something that you're trying to pursue? Because I think a lot of
definitely something. And when the boutiques start accepting people coming in there again, I am going back in there. I mean, I'm still going to do the shopping from a distance, but I want my pieces in boutiques. And by the end of this year, my goal is to sign a lease on a brick and mortar. And what I have it already in my head how I want it set up, because I want a place in there where I can sell my finished pieces. But I also want a place where I can sell the beads and materials and stuff to other people who wants to make jewelry also. And then I want to be able to offer my classes, and because I do classes and parties, and I want a place where I can offer or host the like at-home parties or at-home classes at the same place. So, I mean, I have it all set up in my head, and I have this goal. I'm going to sign this lease in December of this year. So that's my goal I'm setting to it. I'm going to get a brick and mortar, but I want to do it in December.
Okay. So well, that's good to still have those goals and hold steadfast to them. You know, that's important. So getting your pieces in boutiques, getting your brick and mortar, how is that going to affect your operations? Because that's a big scale up. So have you thought about how you're going to, are you going to have to train someone? How are you going to get the pieces out there for the demand that you're going to have?
Well, at first, I mean, until the demand comes up, I'm going to do it on my own.
Okay.
And that's another thing I've had in my mind about having somebody help, but I'm a perfectionist also. So I feel if I hire somebody, I'm going to go right back behind them and make sure it's done the way I would do it. But I know once I get bigger, and I know I am going to get bigger, I'm going to have to train somebody. But when I get to that point, then I will be hiring people.
Okay. I asked you because there's this young lady that I follow on YouTube, and she did kind of commentary videos, and she decided one day to share a soap that she had created with her audience.
I've seen that.
Decided to share this soap that with her audience that she had created to help, especially with Black women we have hyperpigmentation. So our skin can be like 3 or 4 different colors, right? So it helps with, reducing the melanin, or, putting the melanin to sleep so it doesn't, hyperpigmentate in different areas. And it helps with acne as well. So a lot with acne. So she put the soap out. People started buying, but she never expected, because that's not what she was doing. She wasn't a beauty channel, right? So she didn't expect the influx of orders that she had gotten. And the soap wasn't cheap. It was like $12 or $15 for a bottle of soap. I mean, like legit, this is the size right here, right? So she put it out, and the amount of orders that she got was so overwhelming that she couldn't keep up. So she quickly had to find a processing plant to keep up with. Ooh, what's going on? Oh, I don't know what just happened. My screen completely went blank. She's quickly had to find a processing plant in order to keep up with the demand, because she was getting swamped. She couldn't have a quality of life trying to keep up with the demand for the product. So that's why I asked, do you have a plan in the future for how you're going to keep up with the demand? And there's another person on Facebook that I follow. She started off very much like you. Her jewelry became super popular. She couldn't make it anymore. She had to find jewelry makers to help her make the jewelry. So yeah, sometimes things just blow up,
Yeah, I will definitely hire somebody. And if it happens to be like overnight, I mean, I don't think overnight success, it happens excuse me, it happens sometimes, but it took me forever to get to this point. And I mean, I haven't given up, but
Right.
I will hire somebody if I need to. But until then, I'll just continue doing what I'm doing. If that overnight thing starts, David and Kenneth just have to say, they'll just have to excuse me. Y'all leave me alone until this person gets hired and let me work.
So talking about that, how do you manage, you know, being a wife, being a mom, and creating these jewelry? Because I know my daughter does some jewelry making, and I have done this pattern before, and I don't like doing it. It takes a lot of time and patience, and you're dealing with like 5 or 6 different threads or more sometimes to get that weaving pattern. You got to make sure you're crossing over what needs to cross over and pushing down it's a whole ordeal, right? So that takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of concentration. So how are you managing making these intricate pieces while still dealing with your normal duties of being a wife and a mom?
It can get overwhelming if you let it. And I have had times where I would get overwhelmed and just have to push everything aside because I would try to do everything. And I still find myself trying to do everything sometimes too. But I would try to be perfect at business, perfect at a wife, perfect at being a mom. And it's just, I can't be perfect at everything. So, and so I have to figure out a balance. And balance isn't going to be the same for everybody or everything. And it can't be 50% here and 50% there. It's just going to have to be a little bit business, a little bit with family. And it's easier when Kenneth is in school because that's when I would work.
Okay.
Because he would be in school, like he goes to an art school. So he would be in school from 7:30 until almost 5. So that's when my scheduled time I would work. I would do I'm on a weight loss transformation too. So I would do my weight loss stuff, exercising, working, and do that while he's at school so I can spend time with my husband and Kenneth when they get home. And now he's 13, so he don't want to spend too much time. So
mom isn't cool anymore.
Right. Unless they need something, then you're cool.
Yeah. So I like what you just said, because I think a lot of people, and I really don't like the word balance, because I think balance is a word that we use primarily for women. Nobody expects men to have balance. It's only used for women. And that's why I tell people balance is a farce. There's no such thing as balance. You can have alignment with your, your various passions, but you cannot truly balance. At some point in time, your husband is going to need more of your attention than anybody else or anything else. Your son may need more of your attention than anybody else or anything else, because if he's in the hospital, he's your primary focus. That's where all your focus is going. The jewelry making is not going to be a primary balance. Even dealing with your husband probably is not going to be a primary balance, a primary thought, because your child needs you at that point in time. And then when it's crunch time, because you got to get these orders out, it's like everybody else has to go to the side. I need to just focus on my business. So it's about
and when you set out plans, you got to be, which I had to learn this. When you set a plan, it's not going to always work out the way you want it to work out, and you got to be willing to change it and go with the flow. Like I have a supportive husband, so he knows when I have orders to come out or I'm getting ready for it. When I do vendor events, when they come back, that last couple days or last week before the vendor event, I'm making special pieces that I only offer at the vendor event. So he knows that my time with them would be a little bit less. And it bothers me spending less time, but he says, well, it'll pay off in the future. Right. So, and he says it's just a temporary thing. So I try to get used to it. I mean, it's just temporarily a week or a day or whatever it is for me to get these pieces done. And then after that, because like when I'm so busy getting ready for an vendor event, the day of the vendor event and the day after, I don't do any work. I take that time off from my business so I can refocus and spend time with them, and then I get back to work the next day.
And see, to me, that is true balance. If we want to call it balance, that is true balance. It's about prioritizing. It's about knowing what is most important right now. What do I need to deal with in order to get to the next level, whether it's in my relationship, in my life, in my business. That is, to me, true balance. It's not about juggling everything and everything being at everything level. It just doesn't happen, you know?
You can't do 50%. I mean, if you've got three things, like I got business, husband, and son, you can't do 50% three different ways.
No,
so it doesn't work. And all it's going to do is stress you out. And a stressed mama, a stressed wife doesn't work very well in the house.
Neither does a stressed business owner. Okay,
exactly.
You can't be the jewelry queen if you're stressed out, because I mean, to me, you know, like a cook, where we talk about, oh, he put his foot in it. I think as a jewelry maker, it's the same thing, that you're going to put your heart and soul into the piece that you're going to be making. And to me, if your heart and soul isn't in it, it's going to reflect in the piece, because you're putting a piece of your energy in every single piece you make, you know?
I tried to work being stressed at the time. I'll get stressed like with Kenneth or David, or stressed about something else, and I would try to work. I would have pieces when I'm making a beaded piece like you're wearing. I would have times where I'd have to rip it up 3 different times because I was so stressed. I would miss a step or do something else. And that even makes you more stressed because you have to rip the thing up. So when I'm stressed, I just had to back away from it, go to another project. Like I got projects sitting right in front of me right now. And if I have to push back away from it, I'll just have to come back to it later, because I cannot work when I'm stressed, because I can't think.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I mean, this is the part of the conversation that I love having, because I find that so often women want to have balance. Again, women, there's no such thing as balance. There's just alignment and prioritization at that moment. What is going to be most important for me to get done right now? What is going to be most important for me to have a peace of mind? Because at the end of the day, when you try to balance everything, the one person that you're not balancing is yourself. And all that balancing that we're doing, whether you're a wife or a girlfriend, and you're a parent, or you're not a parent, even if you have an animal, you know, and that's your child, it doesn't matter. And you have your regular career or your business, you have to find time for you as well.
And I'm still working on that part.
Yes.
I'm still working on that part. I think all women do. Yes. We're busy putting our husbands, our son, or our kids, and our family and everything else ahead of us. So we are coming last. And I'm starting to try to slowly realize it's okay to just push everything else aside. Because if I'm taking care of Kenneth, well, he's 13 now, but I still have to do stuff for him. I still need to do stuff for my husband. I still got a business to do. If I'm stressed and I'm no good, then nothing else can happen. I got to take care of myself before I take care of anything else. Right.
Exactly. And I think those are good words to leave our audience with. Take care of yourself before you take care of anything else. And I've said that on many occasions. If I'm not good, I like to use the analogy from flying. You know, when they do that, announce that a PSA at the beginning, and they're telling you how to take care of yourself if something should happen on the plane, what is the one thing that they tell you? If there's a lack of oxygen in the cabin, the first person you need to take care of is you, okay? Yeah. Because if you're trying to put on someone else's mask and you don't have your mask on, guess what? That person is going to be okay and you're not going to be okay. Yeah. Doesn't really make sense. Self-preservation first, you know? Exactly. So if you had to leave our audience with 3 tips, whether it's about life, being a mom, adopting, whatever it is that you want a business, what are the 3 takeaways that you want people to leave here with about who Betty is, or what you feel about life and business that they can use and implement in their own lives?
Okay, the first thing that I would think, because I was thinking about this the last few days, and the first thing is, right, and you got to love what you're doing, and you got to love it to the point that you would do it even if you wasn't getting paid for it. I mean, I love making jewelry, and I would still make it even if I wasn't getting paid for it, because I love doing it. And it's actually a stress relief for me, because again, I don't want to skip around, but again, going back to originally adopting Kenneth, it was rough when he first came, because he was not keen on getting adopted. He did not want to be adopted. Right. He wanted to stay with his foster mom. But she was older and said that Kenneth needed a dad figure in the house and needed a complete family, so she wasn't in the position to adopt him. But it was a stress relief for me, jewelry making. And people said, isn't it stressful? I said, no, it's actually a stress relief for me. So I would actually make jewelry even if I wasn't making money at it. So you got to really love what you're doing and think if the money wasn't there tomorrow, would you still be doing it?
Right.
I mean, you look like you love what you do. And I mean, would you do it if you wasn't getting paid for it?
I do it even though I'm not getting paid for it. I do so much volunteer. As much work as I do in my business, I do as much of it as free. So
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that the second thing is, and I'm still working on this, don't be in a rush, because it's not going to happen overnight. And because, I mean, it took me 3 or 4 years to get to where I am now. So it's not going to happen overnight. And I mean, it's been hard, and there's been times where everything in me wanted to give up. I mean, everything completely in me. I would have even quit working 2, 3, 4 days because I didn't want it anymore. It was just getting too tough. Money wasn't coming in. It just wasn't doing as fast as I wanted. I knew where I wanted. I couldn't understand, why am I not getting there? But I believe that God has me on this path, and He's got everything laid out that's going to be mine. I just got to be patient and work hard to get to that point.
Yes.
And not rush to get it. Because when you rush, that's when you make the stupid mistakes. The stupid choices. Because we're all making stupid choices. I've heard, who was it? I think it was Dave Ramsey calls it stupid tax. So, I mean, you don't want to pay that stupid tax, so you got to take your time and don't rush through it.
Right.
But I think the third thing I wanted to say is, don't get overwhelmed. I mean, you got business, like we were just talking, you got business, you got family, and I mean, just have fun doing it. I mean, you're only given one life.
Yes.
Live that life. I mean, like I said, I'm still learning to deal with life the way I do. You only have one life. Live it to the fullest, and live your best life when you're doing it. And I mean, that's the 3 things I would leave with your audience.
Okay, great. I think those are 3 good things. So again, tell us, if we wanted to get in contact with you, how do we find you? I have your website up right now, Beaded Creations with an S at the end.com. So you can go to her website there.
And you can also email me at Betty Irving at beadedcreations.com. And you can message me. I always check my messenger, or you can email, or like you said, go to my Facebook page. I mean, not my Facebook page. Well, you can contact me on Facebook too at Betty Irving. But you can also, when you go on the website, there is a place where you can send questions to me, or if you want a custom piece, excuse me, or a custom piece made, there is a place on the website that you can contact me. So website, Facebook, Instagram, I'm on Instagram, email. Yep, I think those are the ways you can contact me.
Okay. And check out her live today, where she's going to showcase some pieces. What time do you go live?
It's 4 o'clock every Wednesday.
Okay, 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, people.
Yeah.
So 4 o'clock Eastern Standard Time today, and you can check out some of her pieces. And remember, if you're going to wear jewelry, you just need to make it a statement. Okay, walk into the room and own the room with your jewelry. All right,
make that conversation start.
Yeah, so you can get some pieces from Betty. And I'm going to say thank you, Betty, for joining us today. It was a good chat. I really loved it. I learned some things about you I didn't know. So it's always good to do these conversations, because you learn things. Every entrepreneur is not the same. We don't have the same journey. All of our journeys are a little different, and we can all learn something from every person's journey. So thank you again for being my guest. Thank you for joining me here on Morning Tea. And until tomorrow, everyone, so my tea's almost finished. Until tomorrow, everyone, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye.